Hey there, listeners. This is your host, Trent, signing in, and welcome to another episode of Trent's podcast. For today's episode, I will be doing a book review of the first two books of the James Bond series, or should I say, our beloved Agent 007, written by author Ian Fleming. The titles of the books are Casino Royale and Live and Let Die. Also, follow me on my Instagram account at TrendsYBA, Twitter at Trends Ibanez, and on YouTube as Katrina Ibanez. Without further ado, let's begin the book review. Before we go on to my review of Casino Royale, here is what is written at the back of the book. British Secret Service agent James Bond, aka 007, is sent to France to play in a high-stakes baccarat game in an effort to take down Le Chiffre, a financier of the villainous Smersh. That's Smersh. Things get more complicated when he is partnered with Vesper Lind, a beautiful and smart M16 employee with dark secret. Bond is one of the most iconic characters in the 20th century literature. In addition to the 12 novels and 9 short stories written by Ian Fleming, there have been over 40 novels and short stories written about the spy by other authors, and over 25 blockbuster films starring such actors as Sean Connery and Daniel Craig. Here is the first. Here is my actual book review of Casino Royale by author Ian Fleming. Genre, fiction, classic, mystery, and thriller. Number of pages is 185. Started reading this book on October 6, 2021, and finished reading this book on October 11, 2021. And I read it at an ebook format. And I would definitely recommend reading this book. This is one of my favorite books. I absolutely love it, even though I had a hard time understanding the gambling part at the casino because I do not gamble. Casino Royale by Ian Fleming is a spy thriller set during the Cold War. It tells the story of one man, James Bond, and his evolution into a committed spy and secret agent. This is just the beginning of Bond's journey. Other events lead to his renewed commitment to his job, which is a lifestyle more than a profession. The story is full of car chases, torture, and sex, as James Bond's evolution into an international spy is revealed. Bond's mission is to defeat the Russian agent Le Chiffre in a card game. The Soviet arch-spy agency smirch Le Chiffre's trail, and if they catch him, they will kill him, as Le Chiffre has used Soviet money meant for a communist-controlled trade union to invest in brothels. This gets him in trouble with the French outlaw prostitution. Le Chiffre's brilliant plan is to make up for the money that he misused is to win big and remake the money through gambling. He goes to the Casino Royale at the north of France. Bond is an excellent gambler, and his mission is to defeat Le Chiffre at baccarat table and bankrupt him. Bond in this mission is aided by his partners, the beautiful Vesper Lind, French agent Mathis, and American CIA man Felix Leiter. Once Bond has bested Le Chiffre and won the card game, everyone, including the reader, is under the impression that the mission is over. Bond takes Vesper out for a drink. She is lured into the parking lot and kidnapped by Le Chiffre. Bond pursues her, and after he crashes his car, is captured himself. Bond is tortured by Le Chiffre. Before he has the chance to break Bond, a Smurfs agent finds Le Chiffre and kills him. After 3 weeks of recuperating at the hospital and gets released, Bond then starts a romantic relationship with Vesper. They start a passionate relationship, and Bond decides he will ask Vesper to marry him. Before he has the chance, he catches Vesper making a secret phone call and acting duplicitously. Bond is frustrated and their relationship becomes strained. It comes to a head when Bond demands to know her secret. She promises to tell him the next day. They make passionate love, and Bond retires to his own room. In the morning, he finds Vesper dead from a suicide. She was a double agent working for the Russians. This infuriates Bond, and he recommits to his life as a spy. Alright, listeners. Before I give my own book review of the second book for this episode, which is Live and Let Die, how's this for an evocative passage from the second Bond novel? Her hair was black and fell to her shoulders. She had high cheekbones and a sensual mouth, and wore a dress of white silk. Her eyes were blue, alight and disdainful, but as they gazed into his with a touch of humor, Bond realizes that they had contained a message. Solitaire watched his eyes on her and nonchalantly drew her forearms together so that the valley between her breasts deepened. The message was unmistakable. Okay, here's a little more from the back of the book. The beautiful, fortune-telling Solitaire is the prisoner and criminal tool for Mr. Big, master of fear, artist in crime, and voodoo, baron of death. James Bond has no time for superstition. He knows that this criminal heavy hitter is also a top SMERSH operative and a real threat to international security. More than that, after tracking him through the jazz joints of Harlem to the Everglades in Florida and onto the Caribbean, 007 realizes that Big is one of the most dangerous men he has ever faced. And no one, not even the mysterious Solitaire, can be sure how their battle of wills is going to end. And now on to my book review of Live and Let Die by author Ian Fleming. Genre, fiction, mystery, thriller. Number of pages 229. Started reading this book on October 11, 2021 and finished reading it on October 18, 2021. The format was an ebook. And this is a book that I would definitely recommend reading. This is the second book in the James Bond series. Secret agent James Bond is on a mission to stop gold coins from being smuggled out of Jamaica. The pirate treasure is being smuggled by Harlem gangster known as Mr. Big, a man from Haiti, who uses voodoo to control a large African-American community around the United States. Mr. Big uses the gold to fund SMERSH, the evil Soviet agency that is Bond's arch-nemesis. Bond heads to New York City to work with his old friend Felix Leiter. While in New York, Bond comes face to face with Mr. Big and sees the evil genius in the man's eyes. He also meets Solitaire, a beautiful woman being held captive by Mr. Big. The story then moves to Florida, where Leiter is attacked by a shark and nearly dies. Bond discovers Mr. Big's operation and has to head to Jamaica to put a stop to it. In Jamaica, Bond covertly enters Mr. Big's private island and is nearly eaten alive by barracudas and sharks. In the last pages of the book, the story culminates as Bond saves Solitaire and destroys Mr. Big's yacht. The end of the novel sees Bond and Solitaire finally start their romantic relationship. So does Felix wake up and live? How does James Bond destroy Mr. Big's yacht? How did Mr. Big train the barracudas and sharks to attack people? Read the book to find out, my dear listeners. Read the book to find out. Hey there, listeners. That's all for today's episode of Trans Podcast. You can find Trans Podcast on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Don't forget to follow or subscribe and leave a comment. And if you want to hear more book reviews and other topics, stay tuned for another episode of Trans Podcast and keep on listening.